I've been thinking about the plight of the Israelites from the perspective of organizational psychology. Why not? God saves Israel from slavery, brings them out into the wilderness, performing miracles all the while. Gives them water, manna, quail, more water, saves them from the Amalekites, gives them the 10 Commandments. I think that God and Moses are expecting the Israelites to be grateful, ecstatically grateful even, except for the song of gratitude that the Israelites sing right after escaping the Egyptians, after God parts the Sea of Reeds. They're not ecstatic or grateful. They sing that one song and then they forget. They go back to their grumbling. They are not on the same page as their leaders. They are not getting with the program. They say things like, "If only we had died by the hand of God in the land of Egypt, for you have brought us out into this wilderness to starve this whole congregation to death." And this is after God has given them manna, and after God has given them quail, and after God has appeared to them and the mountain, and after God has given them the 10 Commandments. There's a stereotype that Jews are complainers. And sadly, the proof text is in our own Torah. But seen from the vantage of organizational psychology, the story of the Exodus reflects worse on management than it does on the employees. So from what I'm learning in William Bridges' book, Managing Transitions, is that God and Moses fall into the same trap that most modern day leadership does. They didn't sell the problem. They sold the solution. Change is hard. It's exhausting, and it demands sacrifice. When leadership proposes change, they better spend more time selling the problem than the solution. If they don't, no matter how brilliant the solution is that they propose, it will fall on deaf ears. Moses never asked himself, what will the Israelites have to give up when God saves them from slavery in Egypt? From our perspective, it seems obvious that being saved from slavery and brought into freedom is preferable to remaining in slavery, to remaining slaves. It's crazy to think otherwise, and I'm not proposing that we do. However, for the Israelites to successfully transition from slaves to free people, management needs to understand what the Israelites feel they are giving up. So we're going to help get into the head, get into the mindset of the Israelites. So we're going to pretend we're in a time machine, and we're going back to when our ancestors were slaves in Egypt, and we will be roving reporters in the Jewish quarter, trying to understand the plight of the man and the woman on the street. So I'll start. What if I told you, sir, that within the next couple of months, a man of God named Moses will show up and offer to lead all the Israelites to freedom? How does that sound to you? Okay. You don't sound so excited. I mean, you're slaves now. It's not ideal, and God is going to come free you. That's pretty cool, right? Can I stay in my house? Thank you, honey. No. You've got to leave Egypt, of course. But to go where? Some are called the Promised Land. It's supposed to be beautiful, bountiful. But I grew up here. Look, freedom is better than slavery, trust me. I know from personal experience. It's not like things are good for you here. What is there to miss? So, we are all going to think about what is there to miss. Thank you, Brian, for following me with the video. So, what is there to miss? I mean, they're in slavery. What could possibly be good about that? Linda?
Certainty.
Certainty. Okay, you want to talk a little bit more about certainty?
I know where I am. I know what the issues are that I have to deal with now. Who knows what I'm
Okay.
going to have to deal with, where I'm going to be, will my family be with me, what about people who are, if we have to leave, what about the people who are told
Right.
to leave?
So predictability, right? Okay.
Stability.
Stability. Okay. Stability. I like that. Stability. I'm going to put predictability because I'm holding the pen.
Critique.
Oh, no. Predictability. Wouldn't it have been a good idea if I assigned this job to someone else? Brian.
Safety?
Safety?
Safety.
Okay, I mean,
Security.
There could be wild beasts there.
safety. I mean, I suppose. I guess they were safe from wild beasts. They were not
Got to
safe.
close the door.
They were not safe from the slave masters,
Well,
but
that's
The devil you know.
the devil, you know.
There you go.
Okay. The devil, you know. Okay, what else?
Security.
Security, yeah.
You know, they know
Yeah,
they're gonna have food, they know they're gonna have water. they know-
Okay, that's
Or not
important.
have
Food, water,
Housing.
housing.
No matter how awful.
Yeah.
Well.
Go ahead,
It's
Susan. What?
It's easier not to change. Change is hard.
Okay, just ease of situation. What? How do you say that? Like what? Inertia? Will you take that, Susan? Inertia?
Routine.
I mean, like you have to walk. It's hot.
Yeah.
You know, like so.
Laziness?
Well,
Or
it's
just
I mean,
exercise.
No.
inertia. All right. Anything else? Jill?
Generally familiarity.
Ah, yeah, familiarity. That's great. Familiarity. Don't judge my spelling.
Community.
Community. Thank you. Community. So you live on a street, right? Or you live on a block, and you know these people all live together. It's not like they're, you know, the block was the block. The neighborhood was the neighborhood. You knew where everyone was. You knew who liked to cook, and you knew who liked to scream at their kids, and you know it was your neighborhood, right? So you're missing a type of community. Is there anything else?
Not rocking the boat.
Not rocking the boat. Yeah, I think that's what Susan was saying. Like ease, not. Not. Oh, that's so much better. Rocking the boat. Do you think we have everything? Do you think there's some more things?
Emily?
Devira?
Do we have predictability there?
Yeah, predictability. Yeah, we got that.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Brian?
I was going to say rules. There are clear rules, laws, hierarchy.
Clear.
Yes.
Rules. Social expectation?
Yes.
Social or clear social expectations. Yeah, who's going to be their boss?
Structure.
Structure. Thank you.
In the back.
Oh, go ahead.
You don't
Bob.
have to make tough political decisions.
Bob was the
Yes,
best.
no tough decisions.
No tough decisions. Jill?
Did we say family, the assurance that they'd stay with their family?
Yeah. I'll put family. Family together. I think it would be hard to stay together if you were just journeying across forever and ever. What about, when Jill was talking about family, I was thinking of something that just went out of my head. Anything else? Oh, Susan?
Yeah, you can bring your stuff with you. You know, like.
Oh, yeah, so how would we say that?
Property.
Property?
Possession.
Possessions.
Whatever meager possessions they have.
Possessions.
Yeah.
What about a lack of responsibility? Right? So when you're a slave, you don't have a lot of agency, and of course in our culture, agency is really the only thing that you would fight for in the world. So, but back then they didn't have agency, and it was what they were used to. I don't think it was better, but it's what they were used to. So they would be giving up.
Not having to make decisions, I think, is agency.
How do you say that? Not having to make decisions.
Well, we have it, no tough decisions.
Not having responsibilities. Or big I don't know, I'll fix that later. Anything else? Linda, one
I
more
don't
thing.
know how to say this, but I guess it would be security, because when you're free,
Yeah.
you can feel very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And yes, you're a slave, and you could get beaten, and you could get killed, and there's all these horrible things that happen, but like what they said. I wish I had died rather than, face all of this uncertainty and unknowingness.
Exactly. Bernie? Thanks.
But individuality.
Individuality, they were leaving their individuality behind? Oh, because they were the Israelites afterwards? Individual, okay. Can you talk a little bit more about that, Bernie? What do you mean?
Well, you become part of a group
Okay.
and you lose your own individuality in this group because everybody else has something that makes you not be able to come out and speak for yourself.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bernie. All right. I think we've got a good start here. I'm sure that there are more. But lest you should think that I'm trying to sell slavery, which obviously I'm not trying to do. The problem that I see from an organizational psychology point of view with this whole Exodus thing is that nobody at any time ever sits down and writes down this list and says to the community, this is what you're going to have to give up, but it's going to be so much better on the other side. Right? They just say it's going to be so much better on the other side without ever selling the problem, which we haven't actually done. We've just heard their complaints. The next step would be to explain to everybody why slavery was horrible and being a free people and having your own land would be better. We can talk about that next week. I do wonder, though, if there would have been so much complaining and so much resistance for 40 years if management had decided to listen in the way that we're taught to listen these days. And I wonder how much surus, how much pain in the world might be avoided if we were just to listen to each other. So I pray that we can spend the Shabbat deeply listening to and honoring each other's experience. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.